Hey folks, it's me, Christiana Gaudet, and it is time for Global Tarot Circle. This is the first Global Tarot Circle of 2020. Today's date is January 8th, 2020. So, if you happen to be watching in archive, please do play along and watch, but do not feel insulted if we don't respond to you, because if we're in archive, we're not live. This is recorded live on my Facebook business page, and that's where you can find us each and every month as we do this thing. Hey, Deirdre, nice to see you here. Glad you're here. People are starting to come into the room. David, good to see you. Hey, David, I hope that you are coming to Panera this Sunday, 4 to 6, because I'm holding your sign hostage for you. Celeste, nice to see you. Glad that you're here. Lori, glad that you're here. Those of you who are tarot readers, get your cards and get shuffled. We start this every time we do it. Hey, Jeannie, nice to see you. We start this with readings. We are Global Tarot Circle. That means we are people all over the world. And here's Marion. She's proof of that. She's in Scotland. So we are all over the world. And what we do is when people ask questions, I will pull one card and give my answer. And anyone else who wants to give a reading to that person will also pull a single card. And so if we're reading for you, if I read for you, you then have to scroll through the comments to see the other people's comments. And that way you get a big reading, but we're all each only pulling one card. So we do that for the first half hour or so of our time together. We'll be here for an hour. In the second half, we are going to be talking about the Suit of Swords, and we're going to be talking about tarot card combinations and a few other things as well. Hey, Kay, nice to see you. Susan, glad you're here. Liz, glad you're here. Let's see, Susan's here. Karen's here. Okay, very good. So nice to see everyone coming into the room. So, as we get started, there's our first question from Suzanne. What does the universe want me to know? Very good. You'll be the first up. So what we're looking for here are what I call burning questions. That can be a question that you would want to ask a room full of tarot readers. It could be a question, as Suzanne has a question for a reading. It could also be a question about a card or about tarot or about tarot reading technique. Okay, we got a lot of people coming in here. Carol, nice to see you. Julie, glad you're here. Maureen, Neil, Joanne, glad to see you all. Let us dive in and get started because we have our first question. Pam Hartley, nice to see you. Mark Saylor, glad you're here. Celeste, I see your question. We will absolutely get to it. Okay, I see questions coming in. Celeste, Mark, we will get to everyone that is asking questions right now. When we get to be about 7:25 or so, at that point it may be too late. So get your questions in now. Okay, so if you've got your cards shuffled and you want to try your hand at reading, let me tell you a couple of things. Number one, we move very quickly. If you can keep up, do. But it's harder because I'm speaking and you're typing, and that takes longer. So you may want to try to do every other one. That's a way to do it, or just do the ones that you really feel inspired to do. That's totally okay. If you're reading, you don't have to do every single one. So when you read for someone, you're going to put their name. You're going to put the name of the card you drew and your interpretation. Okay, you need those three things when you do a reading. Otherwise, it's not going to make any sense at all. Okay, so and I see people still coming in. Hi, Lee, nice to see you. So let's start with Suzanne. And Suzanne has a good question here. What does the universe want me to know? If you really don't have a question, but you want a reading, this is a way to get a general reading. And this is a good teachable moment for you tarot readers who cringe when someone asks, well, just give me a general reading. The question of a general reading is, what does the universe want me to know? And if you ask the question that way, you will always get a good answer. Okay, so Suzanne, if you would like to read for Suzanne, put her name, the name of the card you got, and your interpretation. Let's see. Suzanne, what does the universe want Suzanne to know? The Tower reversed. Whatever you are dealing with that is difficult right now, it is not going to be as bad as you think. Okay, and then scroll through and see what other people have to say. Okay, very good. So good to see all of you here today. Celeste, how is the schedule change going to affect me? If you'd like to read for Celeste, put her name, the name of the card you pulled, and your interpretation. How is her schedule change at work going to affect her? 9 of Swords reversed. Not to worry, it's not going to be too bad. Really. I know a lot of things at work have been a pain in the butt for you, Celeste, but this is not going to be too bad. Okay, Deirdre. If you'd like to read for Deirdre, put her name, the name of the card you pulled, and your interpretation. And Deirdre's question. A few days ago, I made a tough decision. Was it the right decision? And this is an interesting teachable moment because this is a yes or no question. And sometimes yes and no questions are hard with tarot. But my advice is just to pull the card and see what you have to say about it and just give what you get. So if you'd like to read for Deirdre, her name, Deirdre, the name of the card you pulled, and your interpretation. 2 of Pentacles reversed. I don't think it's about right or wrong. I think you felt it was the only choice. I think it was a heavy choice. I think it was difficult, but I think it was the only choice you could have made. So in that case, yes, it was the right choice. Okay, Mark, M-A-R-C, Mark. Will I be successful in the upcoming event? So if you'd like to read for Mark, put his name, M-A-R-C, the name of the card you pulled, and your interpretation of it. Okay. And I see lots of people doing readings here. Maureen's reading, Marion's reading, a lot of people are reading. Thank you so much for being part of our Global Tarot Circle. Okay, let's see. For Mark, the Lovers reversed. Here's the problem. Of course you can be successful, but you need to believe in yourself. And there may be something there about other people that you have to depend on or other people that you're working with. Make sure the communication there is good. Make sure you cover your butt and make sure you guys know what everyone is doing. Be a facilitator if you need to. Okay. Hey, Irene, nice to see you. Karen, what are my prospects at my current job this year? Okay, if you'd like to read for Karen, put her name, Karen, the name of the card you got, and your interpretation. We're looking for what the prospects are at her current job. What's going to happen at her current job? 4 of Cups. So you may be offered an opportunity, a new opportunity, but it's unclear whether you want it or whether you should take it. Okay, Leisha, nice to see you. Marion wants to know if she will be successful in her new venture. So if you'd like to read for Marion, and she's been doing a great job reading for others, so let's reciprocate. Her name, Marion, the name of the card, and your interpretation. Will Marion be successful in her new venture? Page of Swords reversed. The thing is, in order to be successful, you have to make sure you get the word out. You've got the knowledge, you've got the ability, you've got everything you need. Just get the word out. That's going to be important. Okay. Kristen, is my new love interest worth pursuing? If you would like to read for Kristen, go ahead and put her name. Kristen, the name of the card you got, and your interpretation. What do you think about Kristen's new love interest? Oh, this is interesting. You saw me shuffle, but this is the second time I've pulled the Lovers reversed. So having to do with the love question, maybe not. You know, early on in the game, I think it's always good to give people an opportunity. But Lovers reversed is not my favorite card to see here. Now, it might be that this person is just coming out of a relationship, and so you're going to have to give this person some time. It might be there will be some communication issues. So, you know, looking at that, I would say it's okay to pursue and see what happens, but don't hang your hat on this one. Okay, Leisha, will I meet someone special in 2020? Okay, Leisha, the name is spelled Leisha. If you would like to read for him, put his name, the name of the card you got, and your interpretation. What do you think? Will Leisha find love in 2020? Seven of Swords reversed. You know, this is not the most romantic card. I'm happy to see it reversed. If it were upright, I would not be happy at all. And to me, this says you would need to trust a little bit. Maybe you have a hard time trusting people. Maybe you have a hard time putting yourself out there. And so you may have to work on some trust issues in order to let this happen. Okay, I see David doing readings. Thank you so much. Liz, what does the universe want Liz to know? So you know what to do. Put her name, Liz, the name of the card you got, and your interpretation. What does the universe want Liz to know? And I see Maureen got the Ace of Cups for Leisha. Yes. Yes, very good. That is good news. Okay. What does the universe want Liz to know? Hey, Serena, nice to see you. Okay. Okay. What does the universe want Liz to know? Death. Do not let this scare you. Good changes are coming. It's the end of an era, the beginning of a new one. Welcome change into your life. Okay, Jessica. If you would like to read for Jessica, put her name, the name of the card you got, and your interpretation. What does the universe want Jessica to know? Seven of Pentacles reversed. You know, you may be pursuing something that isn't worth the effort. There may be some changes coming at work. And Celeste is doing readings. Thank you so much, Celeste. Irene is doing readings. Thank you so much. Kiss a kiss. Nice to see you here. Wow, David got the Tower reversed too. Very good. Okay, Neil. What does the universe want Neil to know? Okay, let's see what we got here. If you'd like to read for Neil, put his name, Neil, Neil, the name of the card you got, and your interpretation. King of Wands reversed. Neil, you know, you've been with us pretty much all through the 12 days of Christmas that we did, and we know you got some tough cards, but it was getting better toward the end, and it's still getting better. You may not be feeling 100% physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, but you are getting there. And let's all just turn this card right side up and welcome the fire energy for Neil. This can be a real fire under your butt to help you feel your life force energy, to help you feel your vigor, to help you feel your strength and your passion and your creativity. And that's what we want for you. Okay, Yvonne says, can you pick a card for me? So the translation is, what does the universe want Yvonne to know? If you would like to read for Yvonne, go ahead and put her name, Yvonne, Yvonne, the name of the card you got, and your interpretation. Okay. Yvonne, Nine of Pentacles. This, to me, says that you need to be confident in yourself. You need to feel good about where you are and where you're going, and if you do, things will go well for you. Kiss a kiss. Will I like the online course if I buy it? If you'd like to read for her, her name, Kissa, Kissa, go ahead and put her name, the card you got for her, and your interpretation. Kimberly, nice to see you here. Thanks for doing readings. Okay. And we are about halfway through our time of doing readings. So if you have questions, now is the time to ask. Okay, let's see what we got for Kissa. Page of Cups reversed. Some of the communication may not be great. It may be that you want to look at some of the competition and not necessarily get this one. Okay, Irene doing readings. Suzanne doing readings. Very good. Celeste doing readings. Maureen doing readings. Marion doing readings. Okay, Carol. Carol has asked, and thank you guys for doing readings. We really appreciate it. Carol has asked, would you pick a card for me? What's the translation for that? What does the universe want me to know? Okay, so let's see what we got going on here for Carol. If you'd like to read for Carol, Carole, go ahead and put her name, the name of the card you got, and your interpretation. Carol, you got the 9 of Wands, which I refer to as the wounded warrior. It may be that you've been going through a difficult time. Be patient with it. You will be okay. Remember that you are strong and capable. Julie has a question. If you'd like to read for Julie, go ahead and give her name, Julie, the name of the card you got, and your interpretation. How are things looking for my house hunt? I think I have some options in one particular neighborhood, 2 houses to see this week. What do you think? Will Julie find her new home soon? What do you see? The 5 of Cups. You may have to see more than 2. Maybe you already have. There is a home out there for you. You're going to look at a few before you find the right one. Keep looking, you'll find it. Okay, Sonia, if you'd like to read for Sonia, go ahead and put her name, Sonia, Sonia, the name of the card you got, and your interpretation. Will my husband come home soon? So there's a story there. And this is a teachable moment because we don't know what the story is. We don't know if he is in the military. We don't know if he's working. We don't know if he has left because the marriage is in trouble. We don't know what the situation is. So we just have to read it and pull the card at face value and see what we see. The Knight of Wands, I would say yes, he will. Okay. Linda, I haven't seen your question yet. Okay, here. Okay, I see Linda saying hi now. I haven't scrolled down that far, Linda. Don't be impatient. Okay. Okay. T-E-E. What can I do to dissolve the obstacles to a successful weekly writing practice? What a nice question. I love that. If you would like to read for T, go ahead and put her name, T-E-E, the name of the card you got, and your question. Judgment reversed. So I feel like you're one of those writers who's like really hard on themselves. I feel like you're almost uncomfortable sometimes as a writer putting it out there. That's okay, Linda. You know we love you. You have to stop judging yourself. Write it. Don't read it over in the same day. Come back to it a little bit later. Write in one session, edit in another. That's what I think you can do. Okay, Julie doing readings. Here's David. My longtime house guest has found a home of her own with roomies. Now I'm missing the human contact. Will I find a partner soon? I've already rehearsed living with a woman. That's a good question. What do you think? Will David find a partner? Okay. If you want to read for him, put his name, David, the name of the card, and your interpretation. What do we see about David finding a partner? Ooh, the hermit. Ooh, ouch. David, I feel like you need to do more to put yourself out there. You're a good guy. You're an attractive guy. You've got a lot going on for you. You know, you bring a good energy, but you got to get out there more in order to find a partner. Let's see what other people have to say. Okay. Here we go. Linda, I am at your question. Here we are. What is my main obstacle for 2020? That's a great question. If you'd like to read for Linda, go ahead and put her name, Linda, the name of the card you got, and your interpretation. What do you see as Linda's main obstacle for 2020? This is funny. We got temperance reversed, which I very often interpret as impatience. Be careful, make sure you have patience. The other thing is sometimes with temperance, there's a feeling, either a feeling of or a reality of not having everything you need. And so if you're feeling like you're not having everything you need, then take a look and try to change the way you look at that. Okay. Okay, Irene, what does the universe want Irene to know? Go ahead and put her name, Irene, the name of the card you got, and your interpretation. What does the universe want Irene to know? Seven of Cups reversed. Do not give in to dark imaginings. Do not let your imagination run away with you in a bad way. Okay. Lots of readings going on here. Thank you so much. Okay, Kimberly, question. The stress at my day job is too much, but I can't quit without a plan. Advice, please. Good question. If you'd like to read for Kimberly, go ahead and give her name, the name of the card you got, and your interpretation. What do you think we should do? What should Kimberly do? Her day job is stressful, but she needs a plan. What should she do? Let's take a look. Ace of Cups. Find a rich guy and marry him. No. Honestly, I'm going to interpret the Ace of Cups. I'm going to interpret the Ace of Cups to say, learn to deal with the stress better. Learn to calm your heart and find a way to deal with it for now. That's what I'm going to say. Nilsa, did I miss you? I'm looking for you. I'm just seeing you saying hi now, so I don't think I've missed you yet. Okay. Yvonne, we already answered a question for you. No double dipping. You'll have to come back next month. Here you are, Nilsa, got your question. What should I know about my current relationship? If you would like to read for Nilsa, her name, Nilsa, Nilsa, the name of the card you got, and your interpretation. What should she know about her current relationship? Another 9 of Wands, and I shuffled. So I think it's a relationship that requires some patience, and I think there's a defensive energy there. I don't know if he's being defensive, if you're being defensive, if you're both being defensive. That doesn't mean it doesn't work. It just means you have to maybe lay your swords down a little bit, be less defensive, try to get him to be less defensive, and more patience. More patient. Okay. Lots of good readings going on. Thank you guys so much. Okay. Yvonne, there's a lot of people reading for you here in the comments. Make sure you see it. Joanne, this is a good one. Tell me something good. Rufus, right? Chaka Khan and Rufus, tell me something good. Sorry, I just totally dated myself there, didn't I? Okay. Joanne, if you'd like to read for Joanne, and we've got a couple of Joannes here, but this is Joanne Lieza. Maybe I said that right, maybe I didn't. You told me how to say it last time, too. Joanne, Joanne. Something good coming up in 2024, Joanne. Ooh, the King of Pentacles. That could be both money and love, my friend. Certainly stability. Lots of good readings going on. Sonia, no double dipping. We did you already. Okay, let's see what we got going on here. Uma, my burning question, when can I come see you for a reading? You've still got a gift certificate, my friend. Text me. We can get you in even like Friday, Saturday, Sunday this week. Would love to see you. Okay, and glad to see you here too. Okay, looking for final questions. Lot of good readings. And have you guys noticed we've had a lot of repeat cards today? Not just with me, but with all of you. Hey, Robin, nice to see you here. Okay, lots of readings, looking for final questions. Okay, lots of readings going on here. Okay, this could be our last question. We've got Kay. What does the universe want Kay to know? If you'd like to read for her, her name is Kay, K-A-Y, pretty easy. All you have to do is put her name, pull a card, your interpretation. What does the universe want Kay to know? Ace of Cups, you are loved and you have love in your heart. And that's the second Ace of Cups we've seen today. Okay, a couple more questions coming in. Okay. Just scrolling through, you guys. Bear with me. Keep it up. Lots of good readings. Robin, thanks for reading. Hey, Martha Vink, nice to see you. Okay, here's a question from Jeannie. What does 2020 have in store for Jeannie? If you would like to read for Jeannie, and I think this will be our last reading, and then we will go into the workshop portion of our program. Karen, nice to see you. Having an issue with buffering, so sorry. Okay, Jeannie, what was Jeannie's question? What does 2020 have in store for Jeannie? If you'd like to read for Jeannie, go ahead and put her name, the name of the card you got, and your interpretation. Oh, and I see Pam Hartley coming in. We'll get to you as well. Okay, 2020 for Jeannie. Judgment reversed. Something that you've been working on for a long time, you are going to have the opportunity to succeed with this year. And Pam. Pam's probably going to be our... Oh, and then there's Martha. We'll do Pam and Martha because I'm a softie and I love you guys. Okay. Pam, if you'd like to read for Pam, go ahead and put her name, Pam, P-A-M. What does the universe want Pam to know? The devil. Pam, what are you hanging on to that isn't serving you? Is it something emotional? Is it a sense of responsibility to something? Is it something that has hurt you from the past? It is time for you to release something that is not serving you. And it is great to see you here. Martha, will romance come my way this year? Okay, if you'd like to read for Martha, go ahead and put her name. Martha, the name of the card you got, and your interpretation. Does Martha find love this year? She deserves it. Martha has so much love in her heart. Well, the Eight of Wands very literally would say swiftly, yes. It also talks about communication and the need to sort of meet people and communicate with them. Okay, so those of you who are reading, you can go ahead and finish out your readings as I speak. And we're going to sort of morph into the workshop section, the last half hour of what we do here is a workshop. And we have 3 things to talk about. The first was brought up to me by Marion, and this is something I'm going to comment on. And if anyone else has a comment, please put it in. But also, please finish up your readings and read your readings while I'm talking about this. And that is from a professional perspective. Hey, Karen, nice to see you getting a reading in there. Very good. From a professional perspective, when you start putting yourself out there online as a tarot professional, one of the things that happen, actually, no, we cannot set Martha and David up on a date, Marion, because what Martha is looking for is not something David can provide. Otherwise, it would have been perfect. Let's put it this way. Both Martha and David would be looking for the same thing, but not with each other. All right. Now, when you start putting yourself out online, people will sometimes copy you. We have issues with copycats. Sometimes it's about people like literally copying your business name or taking your card of the day and putting it out like they wrote it or that kind of thing. Sometimes it's more discreet than that, but still not as discreet, still not discreet. What do you do when people copy you? And, the first thing we recognize is that imitation is the sincerest form of flattery, but it can be a problem. And you have to look at, is it someone who really is a threat to your business, or is it someone that you can just kind of blow off? Is it someone who is literally plagiarizing you, in which case you can... Oh, no problem, Marion. You're cool. Not a problem. If it is, someone's really plagiarizing you, you have a right to act and to ask them to take it down and to pursue it. Now, if it is copyright infringement, it's a problem depending on where it is. If it's in your country, you can do something about it. If it's not, you can't do a lot about it. So what do you do when someone's copying you? Decide if they're really a threat. Decide to what extent they're copying you and look to see if you have recourse. And that's my answer to that. If anyone has been through that or wants to talk about that, let me know. And this is interesting. Both Pam and Kay got strength, pulled separately. That's so funny. That's awesome. And then Martha says, no worries, I wasn't specific. Right. The true confession, I have known Martha since I was 14 years old. That was a long time ago. And so I know a lot about Martha, more than you guys do, and that's okay. Martha's my good friend. Okay. Linda says, I've never had that issue, but I think I'd hate it. Yeah, it really sucks. It feels bad. We say it's the sincerest form of flattery, but geez, it doesn't feel good at all. Okay, so the next thing that we're going to talk about is card combinations. And this was a question from Linda. Now, where did these questions come from? Hey, Missy, nice to see you. It is too late for questions. At this point, we are doing a tarot workshop, but we'd love to have you stick around. Okay. So we have a Global Tarot Circle Facebook group. And if you want to make sure that you find where we are every month, when we are, And if you want an opportunity to get on the agenda for the workshop section, join Global Tarot Circle, join the group. Okay, so Linda asked a great question when we're talking about predictions. What card combinations predict what things? So I'm going to rattle off a few things that I've seen in my practice. If you have particular card combinations, hey Cindy, nice to see you. If you have particular card combinations that you have seen come up to mean certain things, especially in predictions, go ahead and let us know. Okay, so my favorite is the prediction of pregnancy, which would be Empress, along with an ace. Linda says, I can't stand it when people copy my wallpaper or my furnishings. Right? Okay, so pregnancy, the Empress plus any ace except the Ace of Swords. So Empress and Ace of Pentacles, Empress and Ace of Cups, Empress and Ace of Wands, pregnancy. 9 times out of 10. That's one of my favorite card combinations for predictions. Justice and the Chariot, a speeding ticket. That I always take as a sign to slow down when you're driving. What card combinations have you seen? Go ahead and type them in and let us know what they mean to you. I'm trying to think of a few others. Marion, Ace of Wands? Yeah, sure. Likely a boy. So let's see, other card combinations. I'm drawing a blank. Yeah, right. Slow down. Absolutely. And then, you can always play the game of just drawing 2 cards and saying, when we put these 2 cards together, what would those things predict? So let's do that. We've got Death and the 5 of Cups. I would say a change that causes some grief or a change in attitude. Let's try another. Ooh. Oh, interesting. Susan, Hierophant and Pages, marriage and children. Heck yes, 100%. So check this out. The High Priestess reversed and the Page of Cups reversed. How about sex without love? Maybe. So that's a fun game to play. If you have any others of these, go ahead and type them in. And let's move on to the final topic, which is the dreaded suit of swords. So we all know a lot of people who are very uncomfortable with the swords cards. And the way that I've got these big cards for teaching, isn't this great? The way that some of these cards are depicted in A.E. Waite's deck, Pamela Coleman Smith's art, we understand why people would look at the suit of swords and say, good Lord, what a terrible suit. And, Suzanne, what about the Tower with a court card? Honestly, it would depend which court card, I would think. Could it be something difficult befalling a particular person? Maybe. Celeste says, I've been surrounded by swords all week. Kimberly says, drawing a blank, I guess this is why I'm struggling with Lenormand, which of course is read all in combination. Linda says, Chariot, Tower, Ace of Swords, bad car accident. Sure. 4 of Wands and King of Pentacles, a house move. Interesting. Tower. Combination with what with the Tower? Let me know what you think about that. Suzanne says the swords seem so bleak. Some of them do. But the thing is, yes, the swords have more difficult cards. Here's another difficult swords card. Yes, Julie says, I just pulled the tower with the high priestess reversed. What do you think about that? What might that mean? King of Swords and Ace of Swords, surgery. Yeah, seriously, that's a good one. Okay, so we know that swords are associated with the element of air. And air is the power of mind. It's your thoughts, it's your communication, it's honesty and dishonesty, it's the intellect, it's our thinking. And so why are there more difficult swords cards than any other suit? Oh, here's a good one from Maureen. Page of Wands plus Page of Swords, problem children. Yeah, beautiful. Love it. So Linda put it perfectly. Swords are so mental, and so are our struggles. The truth hurts, and we will be worse to ourselves and conceive of worse things in our head than anything that's going to happen. And Missy said, I agree. Christiana called my surgery. She had no clue. But I did have a clue. Ha ha. There we go. Okay. So let's go through this suit of swords and look at it in a way. Oh, Julie, an intuition shakeup. Yeah, I'm good with that. Absolutely. Let's go through the suit of swords and think about it in terms of either positive messages that we could see in these cards or ways of demystifying or taking the fear out of these cards. Now, I love the Ace of Swords. Honestly, I call this the anti-BS device. The Ace of Swords is the sword of truth. It's about communication. It's about telling the truth. It's about doing the right thing. Archetypally, it's Excalibur. So when we talk about the suit of swords, you know, the Ace of Swords is only a tough card if you didn't want to know the truth. You know, it can be an unpleasant truth that you've discovered, but it could also be a good truth that you've discovered. Marion says, I used to dread seeing the swords, but I found looking at it from the elemental and astrological correspondences makes it easier to come to terms with. Absolutely. Most people, this is from Jeannie, most people are in their heads way too much and struggle to see beyond what they think is wrong with them. Swords help to face themselves. Susan, Ace of Swords, the truth shall set you free. Hallelujah, preach it, sister. Joanne, I cannot classify any suit as easy or difficult because each changes or finds its meaning according to its surrounding cards and suits. Certainly. Kimberly, I've been learning to read the Marseille and have found it interesting that the swords have a quality of space and being held in that deck so different. In comparison, the Marseille wands can look like constriction and being blocked. Here is another card combination from Maureen. Four of Wands plus Ace of Swords, an outspoken mother-in-law. Oh, that's good. I love it. Okay. Two of Swords. Did you know that Aleister Crowley called this the card of peace? And when we look at this card, very often it's about having to make a decision, maybe a difficult decision. I don't see the blindfold here as being a bad thing at all. I see it as looking within to find your answers. Notice that her heart is crossed off. She needs to make a decision with her head rather than her heart. And it may be that she has to be at peace with her indecision first. Linda, Ace of Swords, no BS. Breaking through the truth may hurt, but it's essential to move forward. Absolutely. Okay. Three of Swords. So this is admittedly a hard card. Missy says the struggle is real. Yeah, no doubt. Serena Fox, right timing. Is that for the Two of Swords? That sounds good. I like it. So the Three of Swords is hard. It's a card of sorrow. It can be the card of the lover's triangle. Susan, Two of Swords, you already know the answer. That's a good one. I like it. So the Three of Swords can talk about heartache, and it actually can even talk about heart disease. Not that we want to make any diagnoses, but sometimes these things come up. Marion says the Two of Swords reminds me of finding mental equilibrium. I love it. Laura's here. Hey. Crowley called it the card of what? Two of Swords, the card of peace. The key word on the Crowley Two of Swords is peace. And I think that's important to know. When you see that card, you need to find mental peace. Linda, Two of Swords, I don't see a positive in this. Well, indecision can be difficult, but it's not the end of the world to not be sure what to choose. And to find that place of peace in indecision is something we all need to do sometimes, because sometimes, as Serena says, you have to wait for the right time to make the decision. So, Three of Swords, you want to know what my favorite positive interpretation for this card is? An opportunity for healing. When you see this card, you see an opportunity for healing. How about that? Four of Swords. Susan, Three of Swords, focus on what is, not what if. Oh, that's good. That's really good. I like that very much. So the Four of Swords is a very difficult looking image, but it's really about rest, recovery, meditation, and retreat. Not a bad thing. Okay, let me go back and look at some of these great comments here. From Linda, the Three of Swords, you've learned the truth. No going back now. Time to break free and make a clean break. Very good. Very good. I like that very much. Amy Mauser, so nice to see you here. Jeannie, Three of Swords could also be a reckoning of the heart. Absolutely. Very good. Kimberly, my rationale for the heavy negativity in the RWS, that's this deck, is that mental activity working in isolation from emotion, concrete reality, passion, or the other suits does usually add up to pure anxiety. Thinking, act. Very nicely done. I also see quiet and mindfulness in many of the swords. Sometimes we need a blindfold to get us to sit still and heal. Oh, I love that. Serena's word for the Four is pause. Linda says, yeah, that's right with the Two. You hold off till time's right and stick it out so not to cause more crap. Yeah, very good. Very good. Okay, the Five of Swords. Now, this is, let me see what Julie has to say. Four of Swords for Julie. Let's meditate ourselves into a nap. Give me an excuse to rest. Very good. From Susan, Four of Swords, step away from the drama. Sanctuary. From Serena, 3, a shedding and a shredding down to the bone for a final amazing benefit. And she speaks of the Marielle Tarot there. So the 5, when I see the 5, I see prepare for battle, not necessarily predicting whether you're going to be the winner or the loser, but recognizing that there probably will be a winner and a loser. So prepare for battle and fight to win. 6 is a really positive card. And here I go back to Crowley. And you will see I don't go to Crowley on every card, just the ones I like. I pick and choose from many different decks. I am a weight-based reader, but really I read from the deck in my head. And the deck in my head is informed by many different decks where I just cherry pick the ones I like. And that's how I do it, and it works for me. Okay, so here, Aleister Crowley called this the card of science. And I love that, because how the heck are these swords floating above the water? Well, if you think about it, you can see that water is emotion. The swords are clear thought and logic, and that is how we sail towards smoother waters. We sail towards smoother waters by getting out of our emotional turmoil and just being logical in our thinking. Okay, from Susan, 5 of Swords, choose your battles carefully. Yes, I often will say that with that card, that you have to pick and choose your battles. Okay, 7. 7's a tough card. It can be the Thieves card. It's about dishonesty very often. Frankly, I have often seen it mean disease, specifically a silent disease that you don't always feel, like cancer. Obviously, do not see this card and say to someone, oh, you've got cancer. But if someone asks me how their health is or says they're going to get some tests and this card comes up, very often I will urge them to quickly go see the doctor. Not always, but sometimes. Now, there is a positive take on this card. It's about being crafty. Sometimes you really have to find a way. You have to be scrappy. You have to find a way to make something work. And this card will speak to that. Sometimes this card can be about trusting yourself. You have to trust yourself. Hey, Dee, nice to see you here. Okay. And Serena says, absolutely, and Joanne mentioned this too. Each card you're going to read a little differently in each reading according to the surrounding cards and according to the context of the question and according to your intuition. Okay, from Joanne Matthew, 5 of Swords in the Wheel of the Year deck shows him taking his sword and walking away from the battle. Very interesting. From Linda, 6 of Swords, coming out of a rough cycle and on to smoother times. Absolutely. Julie, 7 of Swords is Cancer, stealing your health. Yeah, coming like a thief in the night. David, 7 of Swords, something conspiring against you, maybe even something within yourself. Yes, time and time again, I see that. From Celeste, 7 of Swords, don't be greedy. Oh, I like that. Very good, very good. Joanne says, or in the 5, he could be leading those behind him into battle. Robin says, crafty, 7 of Swords, crafty at someone's expense. Maybe yes, maybe no. Sometimes yes, but sometimes it's just finding the way to do something. It may not be that anyone else is getting hurt. Sometimes yes, but not always. Susan, 6 of Swords, you did your best. It's okay to move on. Absolutely. Kimberly, in a recent discussion of the 5 of Swords, I realized that I see this differently because I see everyone on the card having fought on the same side, but they're dealing with it differently. It seems to me that if the opposition was still there, they'd still be fighting. So these 3 seem like they're all on the same team. Whether they won or lost doesn't matter because they lost too much either way. But one wants to make the best of it and move on, and the other 2 aren't ready. Nice. Okay, very good. 7 of Swords, make a discreet exit. There you go. That's from Susan. From Linda, 7 of Swords, strategizing and thinking outside the box. Exactly. Yes, it can be that. And that's the thing. So, like, if the question is, did I lose my earrings or did someone steal them? And the 7 of Swords came up, I think you're looking for a thief. But if the question is, how am I going to accomplish this task? The 7 of Swords is not going to say, by screwing someone else over. It's going to say, you're going to have to be crafty about it. You're going to have to find a way by thinking outside the box. So look at context. That's the important thing with these cards. From Jeannie, 7, know when it's time to leave and who and what to leave behind. Certainly. Okay, 8. Now I got to tell you, when I look at the 8 and the 9, I often call these the twin sisters of anxiety and depression. But the 8, for me, this is very much a card of anxiety. You're blindfolded, you're tied up, and you're in a cage of your own thoughts. And the thing is, it may be that you have entirely manufactured the whole thing. It may be that you are trapped for some other reason. But typically, I think in this card, you are trapped by your own thoughts. And so it's an ugly card, but it reminds us that we have the control to change this. Okay, for Marion, 7, what part of yourself have you allowed someone to steal? Oh, that's good. That's very good, yes. Okay, I'm on to the 9, insomnia, depression, nightmares, worry. This is not always a great card, but again, a lot of it is all in your head. Serena sees anxiety as well. Okay, and then the 10. My friend Mary Ellen Collins, who's going to be teaching an astrology class here, by the way, in like a week and a half, when she sees this card, she says, stick a fork in me, I'm done. And I like that. You know, what I see in the 10 is, well, it's probably not going to get any worse. It's over. It's done. We can now move on. And also, you want to take a look at this as, what is really laying you low? Is it something really bad, or is it just something in your head? Serena, like the devil card, the 8 is illusory anxiety. Kimberly, 7 of Swords is a dancing to a different drummer card to me. Creativity and individuality, unless we are already questioning whether someone is trustworthy. And it could be that they're just unpredictable, even though they mean well. Sure. Robin, couldn't the thoughts be positive and negative? Maybe that's the battle. Absolutely, absolutely. Marion, I've recently used the 9 in Tarot Magic to help with my night terrors. Yes, absolutely. Laura says the 10 is procrastination. Oh my gosh, I love it. I never thought of that before, but I love it. And that's why we meet together, because when we share ideas, we broaden our thoughts of the cards. And the broader we are in understanding the cards, the more likely we are in a reading to let our intuition hit on exactly the right meaning in the right time. Okay. Linda says, 8 is always for me anxiety, mental health, only because their own self-restriction and how they see themselves, being restricted within their thoughts, stuck. Serena, 10 is like the death card, renewal, right, the end of something, the beginning of something else. Susan, 8 of Swords, self-doubt, the devil internalized, self-defeat. Kimberly, 9 of Swords, remind me of the Houdini trick where he freed himself from the chains. Maybe you are up for the challenge, or it is time to show someone that you can pass the test. Oh, I love this. Susan, 10 of Swords, don't beat a dead horse. Linda, 9 of Swords, bad insomnia, anxiety, overthinking, expecting the worst, bad nightmares. Kathy, I have a friend who calls the 10 acupuncture. I've seen it that way. Yes, absolutely. And Kimberly meant that as the 8. Okay. Dee says, I always think of the Kenny Rogers tune, know when to hold him, know when to fold him, know when to walk away, know when to run. Both the 5 and the 7 of Swords. Absolutely. Jeannie, I like the Swords because even though they're hard, they present themselves to reach into problems that may be unseen and afraid to admit to. Absolutely. Susan, 9 of Swords, catastrophizing, mountain out of a molehill. Oh, yes. Irene, 8 of Swords on the positive side, being assertive. Interesting. Maureen, 9 of Swords, migraine headache. Oh, yes. Oh, yes, absolutely. So I just want to share one more thing, which is a story. And the story is, you refuse to tell the truth or see the truth. And so then you get caught up in your lie and in your anxiety, and then it gets worse and you can't sleep, and then it gets really, really bad. So be honest with yourself, tell the truth. You never have to deal with any of that. But you can also unravel it the other way. If you find yourself stuck in a difficult situation, don't spend your time agonizing over it. Don't get stuck. Just figure out what is really true, and then you can sail towards smoother waters. There you go. So, thank you so much for being here for this hour with us. If you're watching an archive, thank you so much for that as well. Now is our time for shameless self-promotion. If you have a website, a blog site, a web page, a Facebook page, something that you would like to share, let's support each other. Go ahead and drop your link. David, whoever said 8 of Swords is overthinking, I love it. Linda, 10 of Swords, you've experienced the worst. Now only one way to go. New start, new cycle, new beginnings. Also recycling in the mundane or aches and pains or a bad back. Yes. Yes, I have seen that before. Absolutely. Absolutely. So go ahead and drop your links. Let's help each other. And thank you guys for all the love. I find these things really helpful too. And I couldn't be here if you guys weren't here. So thank you so much. And Serena giving some love for me and for John. Yeah, it's true. John's kind of behind the scenes. I'm the public face. He's the behind the scenes face, but he is the guy who kind of keeps all of this running. And we really appreciate that too. So let me give you my shameless self-promotion. I am available for readings by Skype, FaceTime, Messenger, WhatsApp, or in person here in my Palm City office. Just reach out. You can PM me here if you like. Let's see, we do this once a month, so make sure you join us again. And I do have classes right here in Palm City. If you happen to be local, we do classes here. And of course, our tarot meetup is happening this Sunday at Panera in Palm City from 4 to 6. Hope to see you here. And let's see, I also offer mentoring. Whether you want to move forward in business, whether you want to move forward in learning tarot, whether you want to move forward in your own healing and use tarot as a tool, I can help you with specialized mentoring sessions. So reach out. Would be happy to work with you. Thank you all so very much. Oh, and there's another thing. I'm going to start to do monthly free tarot webinars on YouTube. My YouTube channel is Christiana Gaudet. I know it's not cleverly named, but hey, there's only one. If you do not subscribe to my YouTube channel, please do. The first webinar is the 4 elements and the major arcana. It is January 19th at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time. That way, most of you, wherever you are in the world, should be able to tune in at a reasonable time. Please join me. And in February, on the 22nd of February, it's also a Saturday at 10:30 a.m., we're doing the court cards. So this is another opportunity to work with me live for free. So please be there. Thank you so much. I really appreciate all of you. I will look forward to talking to you soon. Thanks for that, Serena. Really appreciate it. And lots of links and suggestions of where to go and what to look for going down in the chat. So thank you for that. Make sure we patronize each other. Make sure we help each other. We'll be back here next month. And again, if you're not a member of the Global Tarot Circle group on Facebook, please do join. That way you will never miss another meeting. Oh, and one more thing. I do a weekly newsletter, Tarot Topics. Comes out every Wednesday. You can sign up for it on my website, christianagaudet.com. You probably get the theme now. Christiana Gaudet is the name of my page here on Facebook, the name of my YouTube channel, and also my website. Sign up for my newsletter, and you can also read my blogs while you're there. Okay. Thank you so much. Hey, Marion, have you really done a video on both my books on your YouTube channel? Well, drop me a link, for God's sake. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. I will see all you guys later. Have a great night or morning or whatever it is where you are. I think for some of you very early in the morning right now. Thank you guys so much. You take good care.